Welcome back, Alchemist. This is Wealth Principle 46. 46 weeks ago, we started running the Wealth Principles. Now, there's 52 in all, and during this 52-week to wealth journey, our goal is to build more wealth, get more income, as well as get more free time back. Hands in the camera if you'd like to get more income and more free time. We're on the same page. There's over 28 people on this call right now who all agree it's about getting more money and more time, which means we know something that other people don't know. The harder you work for money, the harder it runs away. The more you attract money, the more you speak to people who have money and ask them for that set of funding, the more you're going to have. It is about communication. It is about relationships. It has absolutely nothing to do with hard work. I've seen so many videos, so many gurus, especially the people who have big, massive corporations saying, you got to grind, you got to work hard. That's the only way to get rich. Truth is, you've got to have a couple conversations with people who grind, work hard, and are smarter than you. And if you can do that really well, they're going to go outgrind you. They're going to go outsmart you, and they're going to go work harder than you. Hence, if you understand, other people can do more than what you're doing by yourself. And if I have to explain it one more time, I'll tell you, Elon Musk has 100,000 employees, 100,000 of the smartest, hardest working, most ambitious people on the planet, which means he's getting 100,000 years of efficiency created every single year that he's alive. Hence, if you understand the difference between Elon Musk and you. He's a multi-billionaire, and right now you're aiming to get to that million or that pentamillion or that decamillion. So the way we do that is Wealth Principle 46. We simplify our business. We simplify our life. I'm going to show you why simplification is the play. Millionaire Wealth Principle 46 is simplify your business. Who here recognizes what's on the screen right now? This is the ESBI from Rich Dad Poor Dad, the cash flow quadrant. Hands care if you've ever done this before, looked at where you're at. Most people sit over here on the E side, right? If you're looking at, ESBI, like they train you in school to be an employee. They train you in school to sit on the E side of that. And I'm going to, on the next slide, and for everybody on TikTok and Instagram, I'm sorry, I'm showing the ESBI chart from Cash Flow Quadrant. You can go Google it. The employee is what they train you for school. Remember your parents when you were going, like you started going to school, they were like, hey, you know what? You got to grow up. You've got to go to school and you've got to get type it in the chat if you know what I'm thinking. You got to go to school. You got to grow up and you got to get a job. You got to get a job, right? There it is. Give Doreen a round of applause. First, drop it in the chat. So once you get a job, that's basically an employee. Now, they never tell you you should go get your own business and kind of build your own thing. But after working a job, you'll find somebody who comes across your life and is just like on vacation all the time. They're enjoying themselves. Hands can't have seen those pricks. Those people are just like living life to the fullest. And like at some point, you're like, you cross paths on accident. And you're like, what the fuck do you do? How do you make all this money? How do you have all this free time? And they tell you, I'm a business owner. I'm self-employed. Who's heard this, had this conversation? Who's been the person giving it back? Who's been like, I'm a business owner. But you truly weren't a business owner at the time. You were self-employed. Who here knows that if you're still in the business, if you're a cog in the wheel, you're a part of the machine, you are self-employed. You're not actually a business owner. Who's been there too? Thought they were a business owner and then realized like, nope, whoops, still working, still kind of grinding. We've all been there. We know what that looks like. Now, passive income means that you could own a business, or it could mean that you're an investor. And now these two are where everybody wants to go. Hence, care if you want to be a B or an I, a business owner or an investor. I agree. That the E and the S side means you got to continue working. That's trading dollars for hours. You got to continue working. Now, this wealth principle, simplify your business, simplify your life, means the first step to it is what you learn, right? What you learn is what you earn. So I want to simplify the things that you should be learning. Who here knows there's a lot of stuff you can educate yourself on. There's a lot of things out there. Hands camera, if you know, there's a lot of things you can get educated on. And if you try to learn everything, you're going to be very, very smart and very, very poor, because a lot of these educations cost money. College costs a lot of money, right? Coaches cost a lot of money. Academies cost a lot of money. Universities cost a lot of money. Mentors cost a lot of money. So, it also takes time. Like we still have not figured out that shit in the matrix. So they plug you in and you're like, I know karate. Then there's books. Books take time. So if we want to get to the next level, then we have to simplify how we learn and we have to simplify what we learn. There's only one thing that you must learn. There's only one truth that you must understand that is greater than all the other truths. It's on the screen right now. And you can follow the same path that everybody else follows. You can go through, you have a job, you own a system that works for you, or money that works for you. Now, if you're going to learn one thing, this right here is the one to learn. If you're going to learn one thing, if you're going to learn one structure, it's this one. Because if you understand business systems that work for you, then you can understand investing money that works for you. Because it's instead of employees, it's just dollars. It's a very subtle shift. Too many people are clever. They're too clever for their own good. They try to learn investing when they have no money. Hands okay if you try to learn investing with no money to invest. It's crazy. It's insane. I got no money, but I'm going to go learn investing. That sounds like insanity, but that's what we do. We simplify all of like, okay, if I can learn one thing, I'm not going to learn employee. I'm not going to learn self-employed. I'm not going to learn business owner. I'm going to go learn investing, but then we have no capital. The secret to getting capital is business, because business truly at the end of it is sales. Who's noticed this? Like, who's been in business long enough to know that this is the case, right? It is absolutely a sales game. So if you learn business, by proxy, you learn investing. You learn business, automatically investing is discovered. So my suggestion today is we're going to talk about wealth building through a business lens, and through the rest of next year. I also own businesses, and I love my businesses because the business is cash flow, just like real estate. Real estate is one of the businesses. You know, we count 11, but business number one is real estate. South Coast Capital back in the game. Those are our original first businesses. Hence, Camera, if you're okay with other investments, other businesses, if they cash flow more, you're fine with it. Like, more, it's about cash flow, right? We're cash flow investors. We don't invest in an asset class. We invest in cash flow. We invest in passive income. That's what business owners do. They invest in things that bring in money. Investors will sometimes speculate. Investors will use appreciation as a way to build wealth, which I'm totally fine with. We've done that as well because it cash flowed. So let's shift on to the next component here. Actually, who here has a complex life? Before I go forward, who has a pretty busy life? Feels like there's a lot going on. Like, there's just a lot of commitments. There's a lot of things. How about who's got some of those things that are like under 4 feet tall? Like, a lot of like kids who's seen those, knows what they look like. I've had a few of them. Yep. Has been one. Hands if you've been one, you know, you take a lot of time. So these kids, they take a lot of time, right? And family takes a lot of time. Then you got a spouse who's got somebody they care about deeply, that, you know, if they were in the room, they'd be like, you better raise your damn hand. That's right. You care about me. All right. So those people take a lot of time too, right? And we also enjoy some of that time. Who's got hobbies, things you want to spend your time on? Absolutely. Who's got a business, owns a business or investments that you got to spend some time on? Excellent. Cash flow. So those things take time, but most people are going about it the wrong way. All of us, myself included, are going about it in a way that's more aggressive, more time consuming than necessary. Who here's noticed at some point in your life, you found a tool or a strategy or a system that made whatever you were doing previously faster? Has anybody found things in life that make things faster? All of us. We've all noticed at some point. And then that thought that you have in your head instantly is, oh my God, I wish I knew about this sooner. Oh, I should have done this sooner. Oh my God, if I'd known this, if I understood this, if I was working on this sooner, faster, my life would have been better. So today we're going to talk about simplifying. Today we're going to actually go back, because this is the end of the year. We're getting towards that point in the 52 weeks to wealth, right? Wealth Principle 46 is only 52. There's only a few left. So we're getting to that point where we got to put in the finishing touches. I've built assets with you all year long. 45 wealth principles, 45 weeks of building assets. And now it's time to remove some of the stuff that you built throughout the year, because you've now identified it as excess. It's kind of like 80-20ing your business, except we're not 80-20ing and, you know, removing and adding. We're simply removing to gain more time back. Hence, if you have an understanding what we're doing today. We're simply removing to both get time back and get money back, so that we can apply it into the next wealth principles, which is, you know, investing. We're going to move forward with investing. So 4 steps to wealth creation. Before we dive into what we're doing, 4 steps to wealth creation, very important understanding. Step 1, generate income. Step 2, save money, save that excess money. Step 3, invest that money into assets that go up in value and pay more, that generate more income. And then step 4 is simplify your life or live on less. Simplify your life or live on less. There's a saying that wealth is perceived, right? A rich man is a man who gets to spend all his time with his family doing the things that he loves. I've heard people referred to as wealthy when they were only making $30,000-$40,000 a year because they had all of their time. I've heard people referred to as poor because even though they're earning $250,000 a year, but they all their day, all their time, they're on the phones, they were driving calls, they were doing all this crazy stuff. In fact, I know a multimillionaire who many have referred to as emotionally poor or lifestyle wise poor, even though the guy's pulling in $2 million a year, because every day from 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, he's grinding, he's out of his house, he's on the phone, on speaking, talking, doing his thing. What we've found is that you can have a life of your own design. And so in order to simplify it, you've got to look at the things that actually bring you in the most amount of income that don't involve you, and you got to increase more of those assets. Who here already knows this math? Increase assets, right? Increase assets to pay you, right? Simple enough. Now, the things that don't pay you, that's what we're going to look at. Simplify. These are expenses. Who here has expenses in their business? Who's spending money on things and they receive something in return? Yeah, I want you to go back and look at your expenses. I guarantee you, you go back and look at your expenses. Something on there isn't working for you anymore. You just don't know it yet. There's always something in your expenses that's a waste of money. There's always something in your expenses that is a loss of ROI, a loss of money. I guarantee, I know it. I absolutely know it right now in your business. There's something, a sieve just pulling money out of your business. And so how do we find it? We go and first look at the things that are providing that return, kind of 80-20-ish. But more importantly, look at the things that take time or take money that you just can't even associate a reward to. Some of these are usually marketing expenses. Who here has ever had a marketing expense that they spent and like just never saw the return on? You got to evaluate those. You can't just spend money on marketing and think, okay, I'm marketing, it must be working. You've got to track your marketing. You've got to evaluate your marketing. You got to really like go into the details and see, how many impressions did I get? How many people looked? How many conversions did I get? How many people had a conversation with me? How many numbers did I get? Did I get numbers? If I got no contacts, spend money on marketing, I got no contacts. You've been wasting money on marketing. Who here's wasted money on marketing already? Yes. All right. So that's marketing. What about your utilities? Go look at your utilities. Ron and I just one day found that we had a $300 electric bill on a vacant unit. And we're like, what the hell is going on? We go in there, the unit's at 110 degrees. Well, it wasn't 110 degrees, but it was like, that was the dial was set to 110. And there was only one radiator on. So this little electric radiator is cooking the entire unit. And it was a vacant unit. And it was like that for months. We just didn't know. But we were looking at our expenses and we were able to catch it. Because this is a unit that occasionally runs vacant. It's just a little storefront that we have. But if we didn't, like, we never check it out. We never go down there. We just wait for a tenant to come in. So look at our expenses. We found it. Yesterday, I found one for an AI that I use for blogging. And I found an expense on an AI that I use for blogging that I didn't expect. I paid for the whole year when I thought I paid for a month. Hence, can't if you've ever done that before. Got me with that $600 charge. But that's a simple negotiation. The reason we pay monthly instead of annual all at once is because it makes our cash flow look better. Monthly cash flow looks better when you have monthly payments than if you have these months with just big chunks come out of the account. Remember, we had ClickFunnels for years and we'd annual payment, $3,000, $3,600. There it goes. Bam. That's like shit. Like cash flow dropped significantly during that month. Go look, simplify, less. We finally cut ClickFunnels, right? So now everything is an Alchemist Connect. Now we had dozens of funnels built in ClickFunnels. We went back to our ClickFunnels and said, how many of these landing pages do we actually use? And we reviewed it. And it turns out we don't use all of them. We use I Build Millionaires, right? Hence, if you use I Build Millionaires just to log into this call, right? 52 weeks to wealth. Bam, I Build Millionaires. Simple enough. So we use that landing page. We just reinstalled Work with Investors. So you go to workwithinvestors.com, check that one out. That's our landing page for real estate investors. And the next one coming out is Be the Bank. Beyond that, no funnels. Names on Deeds. I guess, names on Deeds. I don't even think I'm going to funnel it. I think that's just going to be a Zoom link. 3 funnels. Each one different entry point, 3 avatars, right? Be the Banks for my passive investors. Work with Investors is for my real estate agents, investor-friendly agents that I train so that they can become real estate investors themselves. And then 52 Weeks to Wealth is for my investors, for my community, for like the people who I just want to see level up, for the millionaire builders. So this like 3 funnels, 3 avatars, but they all those landing pages lead to the same exact funnel. Alchemist Nation. That's it. The recession proof challenge, Alchemist Nation, mentorship, like it's just one funnel. So I have 3 different entry points. And I realized I was wasting time. Who here has wasted time on digital marketing? Anybody waste time on digital marketing? A bunch of funnels, bunch of stuff. Excellent. All right. Other expenses. Right now, I guarantee you do something between the hours of 6 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning that is super inefficient. Super inefficient. There's something you do. I know there is that you do between 6 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning that is super inefficient. I don't know what it is. I'm not in your house like a fly on the wall, but I know there's something that you're doing that is complicated. You go home and you start talking about things that don't add value to your life. You start talking about things that frustrated you. Who here dumps on their family, shares the things that annoyed them throughout the day? Is anybody? Yeah. This happened. Thank you, Todd. You're the only one who doesn't. So I know there's a couple of you on here that don't do this. That makes your life complicated. The more you complain about the things that you don't want in your life, the more you have those things anyway. But the more you complain to things you don't want in your life and to your friends and your family and at your house, like your team, the more they also create those for you because it's what you're talking about. You want to simplify your life and have less problems? Talk less about your problems. Just go solve them. Just go do it. Take the action. Ask how to get what you want. Don't ask how to get away from what you don't want. Simplify your life by focusing only on the positive. Yes. Will there be negative in life? Yeah, no shit. Of course. Bad things are going to happen. Guaranteed. I can guarantee that too. I guarantee you, 1, you're wasting time in your afternoon. And 2, I can guarantee you bad things are coming. But regardless of whether they come, what's going to be better to move you forward? A positive state of mind or a negative state of mind? Complaining about them or doing something about them? Simplify your life. There's no time to waste on negativity. There's no time to waste on shit that is, what if this happens? What if this happens? Dude, fucking deal with it, right? If that happens, like deal with it. Right now, we're investing $2 million into a deal. We're lining it up. It's about 3 months out, 4 months out. We're going to take $2 million, we're going to roll it into something. And we evaluate, well, what if worse comes to worse? Like, what if we lost absolutely everything? And I'm thinking, why are we even having this conversation? Like, if we lost everything, then everything's gone and you go and you make more, right? That's the play. Like, if everything's gone, then you go and you build again, like shit. And what could we do to protect it? I like that conversation. What can we do to protect it? What can we hedge against? So how would we diversify this? How do we protect our investment? Hence, care if you understand the difference between negativity and positive thinking. It's proaction. It's just doing things. It's preparing yourself. So simplify your life. Simplify your life in the sense that get rid of your expenses that are not working for you. Ron and I just cut $28,000 a month out of our expenses. We reviewed our entire company. Don't worry, we're still spending almost $18,000 a month. $18,000 a month on just Alchemist Nation, just the training company. But we were at a point where we're spending almost $40,000 a month earlier in the year. Hence, if you understand, that's a lot of money, right? So we've now got it down to $18,000 a month. Who here has anybody noticed any difference? Still showing up to the 52 weeks, still got working with investors, Alchemist Nation, the website's still up and running. We had a big team of developers on the back end that we just no longer were using. They built the product. The product was built, and now there was no more places to go. And so that was a big cost. We had a big marketing team that was inefficient, ineffective. Like, the money was going out, but the return wasn't coming through. We didn't have the members coming through from that source of marketing. So we had to shift, we had to pivot. And unless you evaluate, you don't know. Guaranteed there's something out there. Your goal this weekend is to go and cut expenses. Now, the reason I say this, you do not simplify often. I want you to only simplify 1 time a year. Simplify just a little bit, because when you're simplifying, that might as well be like being super negative in your business. It's like, oh, okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Before you know it, you got no business. You got all this stuff out. You got nothing left. So you got to be very careful with how long you do this. I only want you simplifying this week, maximum this week. I'd rather you just do it today. Tomorrow's Christmas. Christmas with the family, maybe tonight with the family, right? Christmas Eve. I just realized, like, it's a holiday. But maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you start simplifying your business. Go through all your expenses. Look, tax time is right around the corner. We're about to go and we're going to talk to our attorneys, our accountants, and do our taxes. Now's the time to get it all together, right? Get it all lined up. Cut out expenses. Look at your expenses from last month, the month before. The reason I say do this for a short period of time is because too many people spend their entire lives simplifying. Too many people say, well, I want a new car. You know what I'll do? I'll start saving. I'll just I'll cut back on a couple of things. I'll cut my gym membership so I can buy a new car. You cut your gym membership, you might not be around to drive the new car. All right, some of you already know, like you've had those moments where you're like, I got a belly going. I'm not in the shape I want to be in, right? For me, I want to be a little top heavy, right? I want a little bicep heavy. Hands to camera if you know you got a shape in your mind for your body that you want. Don't cut out the gym. Don't simplify your life so much that you've now put a timeline on your lifespan, right? There are certain things you can cut out. Like Roger Andrews right now, he's on the treadmill while listening to this. Talk about efficiency. Right? Talk about like, hey, I'm getting something done here. I'm walking and learning. So things you can simplify your life. No more arguments. You're no longer allowed to argue. If there's somebody stupid in your life, remove them. That's simple. You're not allowed to argue anymore. If you feel like the person that you're arguing with the most is just not getting it, either they're right and you're the stupid one, or you're right and they're the dumb one. Hands to the camera if you're understanding this. This is how arguments work, right? Either way, one of you should just be like, let me listen to you and let me bring you along to the other side. If neither of you has the capacity to understand each other, listen to each other, and bring them along to the other side, then the conversation should end. There are 8 billion people on the planet. You're not going to have a problem finding someone new. If that person is your spouse, next question, if that person is your spouse, pull your head out of your ass and have a nicer conversation with them. The person you committed your entire life to. Hence, if you understand, like you got to work with it, right? Go to therapy. And I don't mean with them. I mean for your damn self. Like, why did you choose this person? 2, like, what is it about your ego that's stopping you from being able to have a good conversation with your spouse? Hands if you understand. That's simple. We're simplifying our lives right now, right? Simplify. No more fights, no more arguments, no more stress level in your house. It is not their fault. It is your fault because you're the one listening to this call right now. You're the one listening to this podcast. If it wasn't for you, you wouldn't know. Does that make sense? Also, you're the one in charge, right? It's your mindset. It's your job to listen if listening is necessary. It's your job to communicate better if communicating better is necessary. But simplify your life. No more arguments, no more fights. Get on the same page with people or get them out of your life, or get on, move on, or give up on your dreams. Give up on your goals. Who knows it's worth it to get on the same page with people, right? Your goals are worth it. Yeah, are they? I hope so, right? I hope so. We'll see. It's not going to be easy, right? I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. That means I got to suck it up sometimes. I mean, sometimes I got to sit there and listen to opinions I don't agree with. Sometimes I got to sit there and just be like, all right, like, let me listen to this person's side. Let me see what they're thinking, because I don't want an argument, because an argument would be a waste of my time and their time. And we're running out of time. Simplify your life, because life is short. We're not like parrots here. We don't live to be 150 years old. We're not turtles. We don't live to be, 175 years old. We're human freaking beings. The average lifespan in America is 72 years old, 79 years old. So if you look at it as men, like, we live a little less time than the women. I know Mike and his family gets to live to be 150 years old. And I know for me, because I'm genetically enhanced, I want to live to be 150 as well. There's like, we have a little bit more time than the rest of you. But think about it. Life's short. Every day, 24 hours, your ass is sleeping 8 of them, maybe 6. You sleep, but I assure you, if you're trying to sleep 6 hours and live off of 5-6 hours, it's going to catch up to you anyway, right? You got to get more efficient with your time. Simplify your life by cutting out expenses. Like, look at it. Ask, will I use this 5 years from now? Will I be using this thing 5 years? Will I use this thing a year from now? Well, I had one person tell me, if I won't use it in 6 months, I get rid of it. I explained to him, I grew up in New England. That doesn't work for us, right? Sometimes we do need things in the winter that we didn't need in the summer. And so 6 months doesn't always work. But here in Florida, that 6-month rule actually kind of works, because shit, if I'm not using it, I'm not using it. And Scam, if you understand, if you don't use it in 6 months, you don't use it in a year, get rid of it. It's a waste of your time. Simplify your life. Things on your desk are distractions, or they're motivations. If your desk is full of stuff that doesn't make you money, doesn't make you happy, doesn't fill you with energy, then your desk is full of distractions that are taking you away from your main goal, your main focus. There's only one thing that pays you. That's conversations with other human beings. There's only one thing that pays you. It's conversations with the right human beings. If you're talking to the wrong human beings, then you're complicating your life for no reason. Simplify your life. There are a lot of people who don't have money. There are a lot of people who don't want your product. There are a lot of people who don't want to invest with you. There are a lot of people who don't have deals for you. There's a lot of people who are just wasting your time. Simplify your life. How long does it take to figure that out? Well, you got to talk to them for 6 weeks to figure out, oh my God, this person's not a wholesaler. They're never going to wholesale me a deal. Or you got to take a month or a year of knowing a person before you realize, oh my God, this person has no money, has no desire to have money, has no desire to ever invest money with me or my investments. They like me, they want to hang around me, but they got no desire to ever do a thing with me. Like, why are you taking so long to figure this shit out? Why are you allowing them to sit in your mind? You're only allowed 150 conversations, like real, genuine relationships. Dunbar's number says you have 150 real relationships in your life. All the other people are like, I don't know, you forget their name often. Hence, camera if you've forgotten people's names. Yeah. That's because you only got 150 spaces in here. There's only about 150 you can hold before you forget. And so if you've got 150 and you're wasting them on, or like Warren Buffett says, suffering fools, right? He says he's too rich to suffer fools. He's too rich or too old to suffer fools. So if you're wasting time with people who don't want to invest with you, don't want to move forward, don't want to grow your business, don't want to get you to that next level, it's time to simplify your life. It's clean up house. Here's my rule for meeting people. Text first. Text, or do we have something in line? I get texts all the time. This is about the text I hate the most. Text I hate the most. Do not ever text me this. Ready? Hello. Fuck you immediately. If you text me hello, I am not responding. Like that's immediately no. I don't give a shit about you either. Like hello is your own insecurity around having the conversation. Hands can if you understand. I'm not interested in insecure people. Yes, excellent. Now I understand there's insecurity out there. Watch my videos. That's what that's for. But hello is the worst text you could ever send a highly successful, busy entrepreneur. Hello means jack shit. It means nothing, right? You can send me, hey, wishing you the best. I think you're great. You're awesome. And that's like a step up over hello. I'm going to read it and be like, thank you. I know. I appreciate it. But that's about it. That ends the conversation. Nothing of value to you. Hands care if you understand. If you're contacting somebody seeking value, seeking to deliver value, seeking value. All right. So simplify your life. Stop with the bullshit, right?